and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Noah, your favorite financial analyst, and in today's video I wanted to make a sort of follow-up video to a comment that I made in my previous video, which was a Monologue Monday episode. The comment that I made in the video essentially alluded to how having multiple types of accounts for your retirement is beneficial when you get to that point in life. The explicit example that I used in the previous video was having a 401k and a Roth IRA account. So in this video here, I kind of want to show you guys what I mean when I say it's advantageous to have money in different accounts rather than only in one. With all that being said, I hope you can take something away from this video, and let's get right into it. Okay, so here we are in Excel as always. This is where the magic happens. But before I begin kind of getting into all of the numbers that we see on screen here, and just don't look at the numbers for a second and kind of let me explain what I want to do. The example, right, that I want to provide to you, the viewer, today is I want to set up two different circumstances. I want to set up one circumstance where there is an individual who did not watch my video, right? So they only invested into a 401k, right? So they were working, they were putting money into it, and that's it. They didn't do anything else. They didn't look into any kind of Roth accounts. They didn't do any kind of other brokerage accounts or anything like that. And there's another individual who, well, maybe let's say it's the same individual on just a different in a different lifetime, right? But this time they watched my video and they saw that I was promoting having diversity in the account types. In this case, taxable accounts versus non-taxable accounts. And so what they did while they were young and working, they put money into their 401k, but they also put money into a Roth IRA account. Now, with that information, I want to show you essentially what I mean and how much more advantageous having diversity amongst your retirement accounts is, when you get to that stage in life. So now we can kind of look into the numbers here, and I can explain to you, how I've set up the table. So like I said, there's two scenarios, right? This the one that we're looking at right now is the timeline where the individual only invested in their 401k. And this is a taxable account, right? So that's something that I wanted to establish. The table, I just want to go over briefly, is set up pretty simple. Column A right here is the year, right? Just pretty self-explanatory. What I do want to make clear is that it's when it's year one here, this isn't year one of investing, right? Or year one of being born. This is year one into retirement. This is the first year of retirement. So this individual is, 67, whatever it may be. Column B here is going to be the taxable account balance. This is basically going to track the total balance that is in the account. Interest is what the returns that this individual is seeing on an annual basis. And I do want to mention that for all of the examples that I'm going to explain today, we're going to stick with a 8%, a solid 8% return rate on an annual basis. So it's not overly confident, but I also think it's, not cutting yourself too short either. Withdrawal, right? This is really important because we need to know how much we're going to need to take out of the account itself to, live in retirement. Taxes. We're not escaping taxes ever, right? That's just not in the agenda. And that's just the way it is right now. So I put a taxes column in here. The other assumption that we're making is that the taxes do not change over time, right? I personally believe taxes are going to go up. They might stay consistent and then go up again. But in this example, I'm sticking with 2022 taxes just for the sake of example. And of course, we have the take-home income, basically the amount of money that we get to use in retirement, right? Not pre-tax, whatever. This is the amount of money that is going into our checking/saving account that we get to spend on, all of the fun things that you want to do in retirement. So for this example, I wanted to assume that the individual, right? Wow. Okay, so for this example, I wanted to assume that the individual wants to pull $90,000 roughly, give or take, when they retire, until the day that they die or run out of money, whatever comes first. $90,000 every single year. They're not accounting for, inflation or anything. They just want $90,000. And this certainly makes the math a little bit easier as well. So knowing that, we can kind of start plugging in numbers here. And I've already done a lot of this work for you, but I do want to kind of explain, what's going on screen here. So the first year of retirement, right? $1 million. We're going to assume that this individual has $1 million in their 401k flat. This, like I said, this is for simplicity, but $1 million generally tends to get thrown around quite a bit when you talk to advisors and, go online for retirement. And for some reason, it's $1 million. I don't know what that's about, but it just makes the math easy, I guess. So $1 million. And the amount that we need to pull from this account in order to have the $90,000 lifestyle like that this individual wants is actually going to be higher, right? Because there's going to be taxes. Just because you're retired doesn't mean the government, wants you to have a tax-free life. They want to tax you. Certain taxes are omitted, such as I believe FICA taxes are not applied to you once you're in retirement and not working or self-employed. So that's actually thousands of dollars that you don't need to pay, but you're not going to get away from it, right? So the withdrawal that we need to make in order to have $90,000 in take-home money roughly is $115,000 because we need to pay $24,000 in taxes. To have that $90,000 to spend. So this is good. We know, how much we need to take out, and we know how much we're going to get out of it, right? And like I said, we're assuming a few things. We're assuming, the taxes are the same and, a few other details as well. But for the sake of example here, I think this will do just fine. So things go on, right? So you retire in your first year, you take 90,000, second year, third year, fourth year, whatever. What we're concerned about, right, or what we need to pay attention to is how long is this sustainable for? How long can we continue to live off of $90,000, withdrawing $90,000? Well, withdrawing $115,000, living off of $90,000. And the answer, if we go down and down and down, right, it looks like to me that our last year of living the $90,000 lifestyle is year 13, right? We have $161,000 in the account. We pull 115 from it, right? Because we need, we're accounting for taxes. We get the $90,000. Interest builds over the year on the amount that is left. And we start the next year with $49,000, effectively, half, right? Half of what we want. We can basically count this as, going broke. So we know now that if we have one account and it's a 401k, and if these conditions are met, we will run out of money effectively in 13 years after retirement. So if we retire at 67, for example, by the time we are 80, we're broke, right? So you either hope that some other money came into your life, or you're dead by that time, right? Because living at that age broke is not something that I personally want to do. I don't think it's something that you want to do either. So hopefully I'm dead if this is the position that I come into. So we know this, right? Year 13 is kind of our last year. Year 14, there's no money. So now I want to move into a situation, like I said, where we diversified early on in life. So we not only did we contribute to our 401k, while we were working, but we also had on the back burner, we had a Roth account growing simultaneously. And if you weren't aware, the 401k, like I previously mentioned, is going to be taxable, as we just saw. But the Roth account is not, because we are paying with we're investing with post-tax dollars. So when it comes time to withdraw from this account, at least right now, right? We don't know how this is going to be in the future, how greedy, the government is going to be in the future. There may be taxes, but let's hope that that's not the case. Okay, so here we are with the two accounts. The left side right here is going to be the 401k, similar to the last example. And then the right side right here is going to be the Roth account, right? And things are set up pretty similarly right here. The thing that I do want to make very clear is that the total amount that's in the accounts, right? So the total value of the accounts are the same in both scenarios, right? So I'll go back to this example here. We start out with $1 million in this 401k account, right? Now, we don't start with $1 million in the 401k and then $1 million in Roth. We have $700,000, as you can see here, in the 401k, and then $300,000 in the Roth account. So I wanted to make it an apples to apples comparison here. And the situation is essentially the same. We want to live off of a $90,000 lifestyle, give or take, and that's represented right here in column N with the take-home money. So everything is going to be very similar to what we just saw as far as, the taxes, right? So we start with $700,000. We withdraw. So effectively, what you pull out of your Roth IRA account, $8,500 is going to be what you get, right? So you need $10,000, you pull out $10,000, and then to get us up to the $90,000 that we want, we pull $40,000 from our Roth. But we know that the $40,000 isn't taxed, so it's what you get is what you get, or what you take is what you get. $40,000. $51,460 plus $40,000 is $91,460. So we want to maintain this, right? And let's see essentially how far this method gets us compared to just having the 401k. So if we start with the Roth, because it looks like we're going to run out of money on the Roth account first. Basically, that is the case. So we keep pulling the $40,000 from it, and it looks like at year 10, right? Yeah, so it looks like at year 10 is the last year that we can withdraw the full $40,000 from the Roth account, and then after that, there's only $21,000 left over. And then basically what we're going to need to do is switch over to only withdrawing from our 401k account. So when that happens, when we run out of money in our Roth account, the next year we kind of have a little bit of a low income year, because I could adjust this. I just didn't do it for this example, but we go from making from taking home $90,000 to $73,000. So there's 1 year that this individual has maybe not as many trips to the casino and the strip club, but then we run out of money in our Roth account, after that 11th year, and we need to move strictly into our 401k. So now similar things are the same, right? So it's 401k versus 401k. And the amount that we need to withdraw from the 401k goes from 60 now to 115, right? Because we were splitting the load, somewhat evenly before. Now, since it's all on the 401k, if we still want that $90,000 lifestyle, we need to withdraw the $115,000 like we were in the other example. And I applied the same taxes as well, $24,000 in taxes to take home the $90,000. But the interesting thing, right, and this is the key to the entire video, is that we need to determine when we run out of money, right, using this method. So we go down, year 14, we're still good. 15, we're still good. 16, still good. 17, we're still looking good. But it looks like the 16th year is the last year that we can withdraw the full $115,000 to live off the $90,000, because after that, the amount that's remaining in the account is $84,000. So we would effectively, withdraw the whole $84,000, pay, whatever in taxes on it, and then be left with $60,000 or something like that. But you can see how by diversifying the account, right, by having two different accounts with the same value as just having the 401k, bought us effectively an extra 4 years of living off of that $90,000 lifestyle. And this is really crazy to think about. It's not that crazy, but it's certainly a very good conversation to have. maybe not, as an icebreaker on a first date, for example. I don't think many people would be into that. But this is really interesting because when you're later in life, right? So at this stage, they'd be in their 80s, right? Those extra years of income mean the absolute world, right? If you're young, if you're in your 20s and you have a couple years of just negative money, no money, whatever it is, I mean that's essentially college, right? Where you're taking out loans for tens of thousands of dollars and you're not making anything, working at the coffee shop next to campus. Um, you can bounce back, right? You've got the energy and the motivation to kind of make do and then keep going. But when you're at this age, that's not the case. That's you're not going to escape medical bills. And if you do, try to run away from medical care, you'll be in the ground even faster. So the amount of years that using a method like this can buy you in this example, like I said, 4 years, nearly an extra 4 years of that $90,000 lifestyle is absolutely huge. Considering all of the different expenses that come up later in life. So there you have it. I hope you're able to see from these two examples here why it's so important to have a good understanding of what type of retirement accounts are out there and how you can best leverage them to essentially take care of yourself later in life. As always, if you have any questions for me personally, or if you'd like to take a look at the services that I can provide to you, I've left my email and a link to my company website in the description box below. With all that being said, thank you so much for your time today and happy financing.